Hi guys, Druid here with a new video, and this video will be a what I will be playing in 11.1 of the War Within, where I will also make content on it. And you're going to most likely say, but why are you making a video about that? You did say that you are not playing retail right now, you gave the reasons are not going to be fixed. And that's true, I still stand by that. The reason why I left are still there, most likely. And I still stand that I really enjoy the gameplay. I think balancing wise, gameplay wise, I really enjoyed the War Within. Yes, you have other expansions or like classic expansions that are also very nice gameplay wise. Again, I do love classic. Still, I do think the classic gameplay is not really thrilling. It's really just like black and white, pretty much. TBC will come out, which is going to be more interesting for sure for PvP. And you have a Miss of Pandaria coming out this year for sure. So before August, it will come out. I'll be playing that as well. But this 11.1, I'll be testing the waters with sticking to my mains. I know people are already laughing at it, but I will be sticking to my mains, and I will be designing those mains right now, with in mind all the problems that we have in the War Within. Again, if the season for some reason sucks, I will not hesitate to pull the plug, because I am now playing multiple games. I don't need to stick on one game and stick to playing one game, even through bad times. I just decide to, if it's not worth my time, if I don't have fun with it, I don't have the satisfaction on it, I'll be just like jumping ship. And I think a lot of people should do the same. But I come with a fresh peace of mind, I would say, into 11.1, and I decided let's make a video about the mains I'm going to play, because I again am in the loop with everything the War Within, because it's kind of my hobby, it is my channel pretty much. And even though if I kind of stopped making content on retail for a lot of reasons, because I didn't play it, I am still in the loop with everything, and I still am planning making content on it. So 11.1, which are going to be my mains. I am going to go into the mindset I'm going to play mostly PvP, but I'll be open to do some PvE with it, and it's going to be quite intense for sure. If it's really hard to combine, I will be just doing PvP, but I will try to combine it. I am coming with the mindset I'm going to play 3 characters, maybe 4, but I will have a true main or like 2 true mains where I'm going to play most of my time, and the third one will be the bonus if I feel like I have attained a few objectives with the two characters, and if I feel like I want to have a bit of a switch up. Now, big surprise, everything is already on my screen. You can see that I am having a Druid, Shaman, Paladin and Monk, and I'm going to give you the reason behind it. Now, every single character has a different reason. I kind of found a newfound love to Druid. It was and it is my main in Classic. I still in Cataclysm I'm playing Druid. Even in Wrath of the Lich King I played mostly Druid and Hunter, obviously. And I just enjoy the feeling that I always went Druid as a very comfort pick. But it kind of stopped from Shadowlands onwards, where I decided to just not play it anymore. And I want to go back to like a proper amount of time playing Druid. I really enjoy the class fantasy. I enjoy that you have multiple specs with multiple roles that you can play. So basically, if you are like a reroller like me, you can basically reroll specs. So if you're playing Balance Druid, it plays vastly different than a Feral Druid, which is also vastly different to a Restoration Druid. There are also a few changes that I do like on 11.1, for example, the Tree of Life by PvP talent, which basically like is really cool in concept. So I can't wait for that as well. I also feel like they made sufficient quality of life changes to make me want to play Druid. Now, is it going to be the most or best Druid iteration? I don't think so, because again, I liked the fact that Feral Druid had to morph back to caster form to actually heal very well. which is not really something you're doing. Maybe in 2v2, maybe if you're not the focus, but it just doesn't happen anymore. While in Classic or in TBC or whatever, like expansion, there were times where you do morph out, you go heal, and those heals are powerful, then you go morph back into card form. So that's something they kind of lost with time. Same for Balance Druid, I feel like they kind of feel like they don't feel like how it was like back in the day. Again, back in the day, it's also a flawed version. Like Classic is regarded like a Balance Druid as a meme. You could play Moonglow, which is not really balanced, like a switch between resto and like Balance Druid, where you are kiting, you are trying to do some rafts, but you're not going to do some big deeps. And then it changed like over time with TBC, where you were known as a boomkin pretty much. Wrath of the Lich King, where you have then Eclipse, and then you had Cataclysm, where they introduced Star Surge, which kind of changed and formed Balance Druid into what we know today. Like from that point, that was a turning point from also the Druid class. You didn't have to form like morph a lot between the different forms. So yeah, Balance Druid. I will try that as well. And then Resto Druid, like I said, I'm very keen to try it out. And Feral Druid, I want to main it and play it. Now, I don't know how the balancing will be for Feral Druid. I think if it stays like how it was, it is very meta. But I'm not like thinking about the meta whenever I'm choosing my classes right now, like at all. It could be the 4 worst classes, and I would stick by it because again, I want to choose based on what I love in general to do. So the idea is to be basically playing all 3 specs with my Druid. Depending on the content, if I'm doing 2v2 or 3v3, I could like do healing, I could do also some Feral Druid, or I could do some Balance Druid. Now, the stats are not the same, so it's going to be quite hard to have like all specs being played equally, but we'll have to see. But that is kind of my reason why I want to play Druid, and hopefully people are also excited to watch that. Again, in Shadowlands, in Dragonflight, I did play Resto Druid most of the time because it was meta first and foremost, but also like I healed pretty well with it, so it was also quite good to do so. My second pick would be Shaman. Like I said, this would be my second main. It's also a very comfort pick. Like it's the most played class since Dragonflight, if I'm not mistaken, for myself. Not like in general, but like for myself, it is the most played. I also like the PvE feeling of it, but it's probably because it is busted. So that would be my PvE class. But also my PvP class, because you have 3 specs which are also vastly different. They're also like itemized vastly differently, so it's going to be quite a hassle to have like 3 specs being equally played. But the idea is to say that this one is going to be my Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shaman is going to be still like one of the most fun playstyles for me. It's also like one of my favorite classes in general. Like I remember whenever I was little, I was leveling a Tauren Shaman, I was leveling as one, I was doing arenas with it, I was doing BGs with it, I was healing, I was Elemental Shaman, I was Enhancement Shaman, and it was very fun to have that switch. In general, also very like the aesthetic of it, and it feels like they are maybe on a turning point where they do decide to rework it again, because they do still a lot of changes, but those are like micro changes until they decide like to say, oh, okay, those micro changes doesn't really work for shamans. They might rework it. So I want to see with my own eyes again. The War Within, Shaman was also my highest rated, although I did stop halfway pretty much because again I had problems with retail. Hopefully the problems are fixed. I'm also going to be more open to play a bit more Restoration Shaman. Like I said, the reason, like there are like 2 main things that are going to make me play the game again. Either I accept healing mainly and then play DPS whenever I can, or mainly I don't accept it and then most likely I'm going to suffer queue times. The idea is with the characters I choose is that you can still heal with it, so I don't need to like prepare a whole other character for this activity. So I'm okay with that. So I made my peace. I want to try to play hybrids, so I have an easier time to switch and still play the class that I really want to play. Again, The same problem as Druid. In Classic, you play really Shaman, you do use every single thing for you. Even if you're Elemental Shaman, you would also do some like melee attacks, because again, you don't need to cast every single time to do the damage that you need to do. And you were quite tanky as well. While I feel like in the War Within, like shields and whatnot are like really aesthetic. Like it doesn't really matter how much armor you have in the War Within. But like again, I still like Shaman, and yeah, they have sick transmogs as well. So you have Paladin as a third, and I would say the Paladin and the Monk are both very, very flexible. They could just drop out at any point. Those two will be my mains. Those two are like going to be I'm going to play every single time those two characters, and those 3 and 4 characters are going to be the swaps, most likely. For now, my idea is to play Paladin, most likely going to be a Holy Paladin. They made a few changes. I'm actually excited to see how it's going to be landing. In general, Paladin was like the character where I was maining in like Walls of Draenor, where I even made a PvP video, like a PvP Pvp montage video, and it is now not online because obviously copyright strikes and whatever. I just decided to take it out, because then you would have like a PvP montage video without sound, and that kind of sucks. But I want to again reiterate my love towards Paladin. And there is like a chance where I don't keep Paladin because I'm too busy with those 2 hybrids, and my I would say backup would be the Hunter, because again, Hunter also my all-time favorite class, based on what I did before. So I'm trying to use nostalgia to rekindle my love for retail. I don't know if it's like the best idea ever, but Hunter would be the backup for Paladin pretty much. And for the Monk, I do enjoy the mistweaver playstyle, although again, it really depends on the balancing. If the balancing is alright, then you are going to have fun. If the balancing is really bad, then you're really sorry to play Monk pretty much. Windwalker is an option as well, but I don't know if I really want to invest time on Windwalker. So that is really like a question mark, because this is like literally not a nostalgia pick, I would say. So there is no real attach for me to pick Mistweaver. So that's why I'm also like the least what can I say, the least committed class to pick. But the idea was to actually pick like 4 hybrids, so I can play all specs, and I would never have a problem with actually playing the game, because the queue times and whatnot, or like getting like groups for 2v2 or 3v3. And I would like to do a bit more 2v2 and 3v3, although like again the brackets depends on the popularity of the players pretty much on those brackets. So yeah, I look forward to watch that for myself. And I would say the replacement for the Monk would be between the DK, between the Warrior, and between the Priest. Those 3 are like the ones that I would think about swapping for the Monk. The issue is Warrior is a full DPS, the same as Hunter, and there is like chances where I just don't want to sit queues. Priest, they have at least 2 healing specs, and a Shadow Priest could be fun to play as well. I don't know. And DK, again, 2 DPS specs, 1 tank, so you're going to sit in queues. So the idea is really to stick with those 4. Let me know what you think about in the comment section below. Again, are you like happy for 11.1? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Again, the problems with queue times and MMR is going to most likely stick, because they don't have a solution, and it is what it is. I prefer to hear it from the devs that they don't have a solution than like the complete silence that they have. But it is what it is. On a side note, this is the end of the video. And yes, I don't have a beard anymore because I did a mistake. I shaved it too short, so I had to equalize pretty much everything. It will grow back. I know it is not the most aesthetic for me, but it is what it is. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.